Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep into Attack on Titan. This time around, we'll be going into the brutal history of the first ever living Titan, Ymir Fritz. We'll be explaining her origins and the true account of the mystery on how Ymir became a Titan to then spread this power throughout her generation, ultimately giving Eren his tragic destiny. And also we'll explain how Titans are made, like where the bones and flesh and matter comes from. But guys, like I mentioned in our last Attack on Titan video, we have Sammy joining us.
Hey guys, I'm back. I've managed to successfully take Yusuf's job, like we all planned. I saw your comments.
Wait, what? Oh shit, I need to send you back to the gulag. Bruh. Okay, seriously guys, she is taking over some of our Attack on Titan content, and like always, I would really appreciate it if you show out how amazing our ABD community is with some positive comments in the comment section below. You know, because she does kind of lurk around in the comment section reading your comments, but we also have a lot of Attack on Titan content lined up, and we'll start covering episode reviews soon in addition to a monthly chapter take. And if there is any topics you want us to break down from lore to science, along with any simple explanation of something you need to understand, then again, let us know down below. Also, don't forget to show your support by smashing that like button. If our Attack on Titan ABD community grows bigger, we plan to release an exclusive Attack on Titan merch, so please make that happen. And lastly, if you want to grab any of our current merch with a 10% holiday discount, make sure to use the code XMIS, which will be valid until the end of this month.
Alright guys, let's start with Ymir Fritz. Ymir was the first person to obtain the Titan abilities, thus becoming the founding Titan. Around 2,000 years ago, Ymir's village was pillaged and enslaved by the early Eldian tribe, a barbaric group that would cut off the tongues and gouge out the eyes of their slaves, and free them only to hunt them down for fun. One day, the leader of the Eldian tribe, King Fritz, demanded that the slaves reveal to him who was the one who released their pig livestock. Otherwise, they will have one eye gouged out, stating, slaves don't need two eyes.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
At this point, the rest of the slaves sold out Ymir and her supposed crime. Then King Fritz went Game of Thrones mode, turning into Ramsay Snow, and let Ymir free into a forest only to be hunted down. Whilst being hunted, Ymir stumbled upon a large tree with an opening which she entered and suddenly fell into a deep body of water. As she drowned deeper, an unusual organic root or spinal-like entity started to attach itself to Ymir's spine, like some sort of parasite, where then Ymir transformed into the first ever Titan to walk in the AOT world. However, even after this newly acquired powers, the chain of slavery pulled Ymir back to return to King Fritz out of her own free will.
Bitch, are you dumb? Pardon me? Are you dumb?
You idiot. You're honestly an idiot.
Thus becoming a pawn to Fritz and his kingdom of Eldia, destroying the king's oppositions, even going far as to capturing territory across the land and mountains. And as a reward for her hard work, King Fritz, he decided to gift her the best reward he felt was fit for a slave, to become his concubine. Oh! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was the reward she received. Well, anyways, Ymir would continue to capture more land and destroy more enemies, including the Marlians, whilst bearing more of Fritz's children, birthing up to 3 during her lifetime, Sheena, Rose, and Maria. While after 13 years of gaining the Titan power, as the Eldian tribe grew its tyrannical grip on the land, Fritz's enemies grew in numbers too. During an assassination attempt on Fritz's life, Ymir jumped in front of her baby daddy Fritz to protect him from an incoming spear which pierced her own body. Yes, this led to the death of Ymir. She died on the spot. Frantically trying to maintain his power, King Fritz did the unthinkable. He forced his own daughters to eat their mother's corpse.
You nasty ass bastard!
Their mother's rotting corpse in an attempt to retain the Titan powers. Yes, even on his deathbed, Fritz commanded his daughters to reproduce and force his grandchildren to eat their spines just upon their death. And this cycle repeated so that Ymir's blood would live on and the Titan power would remain in Eldian control. This led to the creation of the subject of Ymir, the nation of people who are capable of transforming into Titans, and the division of Ymir's original power into the 9 Titans, who were then used to build the empire of Eldia. Now let's clear up the confusion I know many of you guys might be having about the differences between Fritz's royal blood and the subjects of Ymir. The subjects of Ymir are a group of people who inherited Ymir's inhuman DNA, which is what allows them to have the capability of transforming into a Titan. As Ymir's DNA itself was changed, and no matter how many generations pass, her Titan gene will not get diluted as it is a dominant allele. Yes guys, giving you a little anime bullshit science here. But anyways, when an Eldian who is a subject of Ymir reproduces with another race, the offspring will still end up becoming a subject of Ymir. This is how the subjects of Ymir became the majority in the Eldian Empire. However, because of this large-scale breeding, whatever was left of King Fritz's human royal blood was lost in the diluted gene pool. And this is the reason why regular Eldians cannot control Ymir, as she doesn't recognize them as part of the royal family. Yes, everyone else to Ymir is just peasants. Now I know some of you are wondering why she would even mentally subjugate herself to scum like King Fritz. Why was she so obedient towards him to even follow the orders of those who have his blood even after her own death? Yeah, it might seem like she's still out there ghost simping, but honestly, it's all due to the environment Ymir grew up in. Look, from a young age, she never had a free will of her own. Slavery was all she knew. Even after she was released due to the pig incident and gaining the founding Titan's powers, she still chose to return to Fritz and continue to remain obedient towards him. Such is the psychological shackle she is placed under. Freedom is unknown to Ymir. It's like trying to release an animal which has been in captivity all its life and expecting it to live. They're both ill-equipped for the world, which is why Ymir returned to the only thing and place she knew. Due to the slave mind mentality, even after death, Ymir continues to subjugate herself to the control of the royal family. But anyways, Fritz's royal family are those who directly inherited the royal blood of King Fritz, enabling them to exert control over the founding Titan by having access to the past dimensions where they are able to command Ymir to fulfill their wishes just like their ancestor, King Fritz, did in life. As we all know, Ymir had 3 daughters with Fritz. Let's call them the first generation of subject of Ymir. The blood of Fritz is still at its highest due to him being a pure human. His blood can get diluted over time. This is why Fritz made sure to keep the founding Titan powers as well as the other remaining 8 Titan powers within the family, and most likely inbred within the family just like how royals in our own world would do back in the day in order to keep the bloodline pure. Yes, I am insinuating that King Fritz likely slept with one of his own daughters, as one of them had to have become the Queen of Eldia after he passed in order to continue the Fritz family rule, whilst the other 2 daughters reproduced in order to spread the blood of Ymir to the masses, thus creating the almost ethnic group like called the subject of Ymir. After the death, Ymir found herself in a mysterious plane of land filled with sand and auroras. This is known as the past dimension. So what is a path, you may be wondering? Paths are what connect the subjects of Ymir together. It's like an invisible connection that transcends distance and blood relation. For my math-savvy viewers, imagine graph theory. Every Eldian is a node in a tree, and the edges that connect the Eldians is the path. When these paths cross, we get a point called a coordinate. The root of all these paths that connect them together is the founding Titan. This idea of paths was coined after noticing that the 9 Titans can be transferred to random babies amongst the subjects of Ymir if the prior shifter died without being eaten. That being said, paths are strengthened by blood relations as memories can be transferred between family members. It is thanks to the past Karl Fritz's vow to renounce war is passed on to every royal founding Titan inheritor, forcing them to conform to his will using the power of Ymir in the past dimension. But how are royals able to command Ymir when she is already dead? Well, even though Ymir has passed on, the lack of free will, thought, and slave mentality of serving the royal family lives on. The paths connect Ymir to every subject of Ymir, including the royals. This is why Ymir only listens to the command of the royals, therefore only the royals can use the founding Titan powers. So, from what we can tell in the manga, this world is separate from the world of the living, seemingly in a whole other dimension unbounded by the laws of space and time. This is confirmed by Eren Kruger in chapter 88, page 25, who states that paths transcend physical space. Further backing this point in chapter 115, as Zeke was dying from the damage he sustained from a thunder spear explosion, he had a dream of Ymir in an unknown world, during which an approaching Titan placed Zeke's body inside of its abdomen, where Zeke then awakens inside an unknown world which we now know is a past dimension, within which Ymir kneaded the earth and molded his body with it. According to Zeke, this process felt like it lasted for years, but in actuality, it only took an instant in the real world as he popped out of the Titan's abdomen with hardly any time passing, fully repaired and healed. Like, have you ever wondered how the heck does something so small as a human transform into a giant? Come on, when when these Eldians turn into Titans, it must have crossed your mind on how is this even possible? Well, there is actually an explanation, and it's these paths. Yes, these paths allow things such as a person's will, memories, flesh, and even the bones that make up a Titan's body to be transported into existence. Every single power of the Titans are connected and organized by paths. As the lone inhabitant of this barren land who can be walking around as a little girl carrying a pail of water, Ymir is the sole entity capable of making anything out of the earth. She is the one who facilitates the Titan transformation and regeneration by molding their very bodies in the path's dimension whenever the power of the Titan is evoked. The world or dimension Ymir's spirit and consciousness currently resides is like the operating room for the Titans. When Ymir builds a Titan with the sand present and that building gets transferred to a specific root into one of her subjects, transforming them and their DNA makeup. Every single power of the Titans are connected and organized by paths. Eren's father, Grisha, compares paths to magic as they are invisible in the physical world and can transcend physical space and time, showing that having access to the power of the Titans allows the host to breeze through the paths of the past and the future. However, Ymir is the only person who has the true founding Titan powers, having access and control over this coordinate, which ultimately gives her control over every Eldian and Titan in the world. However, as we explained earlier, the direct descendants of Ymir seem to be able to harness the founding Titan's powers along with the control over the subjects of Ymir, due to Ymir's own subjugation to the Fritz blood. So King Fritz, pure descendants, connection to the coordinate is much greater than a normal Eldian. Like even if a royal blood Eldian did not obtain the founding Titan, and instead had any other intelligent 9 Titan, it is shown that they still have slight access to the coordinates where all paths meet. This would potentially give them control over the Eldians. However, due to not having that power of the founding Titan, they cannot amplify the control of it. We also have to remember that all 9 Titans effectively carry the soul of Ymir Fritz, and it is also said that every time a Titan has a new holder, it gains the holder's will and memories and passes it along to the next holder. However, ultimately the strongest connection will be back to Ymir, and any soul who are descendants of King Fritz would have a higher authority. This would explain how Zeke's spinal fluid and his scream can transform other Eldians into Titans, as they become connected to his beast Titan through a path and are marked with a coordinate where he has access to. Zeke can then give commands to any Titan subject under his control. This is only possible because he is of royal blood and his connection to the coordinates. Okay, but with that, I hope we explained Ymir Fritz's story for you guys. I know this one was a bit deep. Even I was grossed out with King Fritz. Let me know how disgusting you thought he was. Or maybe there's some of you guys who can sympathize with him. If so, get out of here. Just get out. We hope you peoples also understood what a Titan is and how their powers work. If I confused some of you or made any mistakes, then let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ding that notification bell to stay updated. With that, I'll catch you lads till next time.